Hello? You gotta wait just a second for him to warm up. There you go. Hello, hello, hello.
All right, perfect. Very good. Very good.
Just a reminder, I watched last week's meeting, and please speak into the microphone. This does not pick up as well.
Well, my wife let me know that she could hear every word I said.
Oh, good.
Oh, Ron, I'm gonna get it
She's
again.
listening.
Well, John's not gonna be
Hello,
here.
everybody. Hello, Mr. Suis. How's everybody? Okay. No John tonight.
Good
Yeah.
thing I
Send us
love her,
an email.
good thing I really love her as much as I do, huh, Diane?
Just
Yes.
situated.
You're very lucky.
Okay, is everybody ready?
Mhm.
All right. Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Committee of the Whole meeting of Tuesday, May 12th, 2026 at 7 p.m. for the Village of Walton Hills. Second order of business is pledge allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Nikki?
Councilman Nielsen,
Here.
Councilwoman Kanzoni,
Here.
Councilwoman Allen,
Here.
Councilman Spitznagel.
Here.
Councilman Whedon.
Here.
All council present, along with our fiscal officer. Mr. Montello wasn't able to make it tonight, sent us an email. He did go through some things, some questions Mr. Spitznagel had. Also was related to some questions that came out of the last COW meeting. I think between him, Joe, myself, and Nikki, we'll be able to, a lot of them are answered in writing. We should be able to answer any other ones. Now, we can get in the questions. Any comments related to agenda items? If anybody has any comments, they can address them at any time. I'd like to welcome anybody watching the live stream tonight. Residents, non-residents. Okay. We have item 5. That's the legislation. And item A, resolution 2026-23. That's the Ryan Drive and Sealy Circle resurfacing project. I know last week, I did read, in your packet, you'll have it with you, I did read Mr. Gelati's recommendation to move forward with Empire Paving. They were the lowest and best bid for the $474,440. I know there was a couple questions. Councilman Whedon had a question if Mr. Gelati was familiar with Empire Paving, or did they do any work in the village before? They haven't, but they have done work through Chagrin Valley Engineering, or Chagrin Valley Engineering overseeing the project, and he felt they were a very reputable company. He did mention that, whether it was the superintendent, did do work here before, but under a different company's name, which is Specialized. He just works for a different company, because Specialized is a very big company, it's done a lot of work here. And there was a, what was the other question? Did you have another question?
I think that was it.
That was it, okay. And do we want to go through some of the questions that you see in the email that we gave? I know Brian and Joe had some discussion, and we made copies of it, because Joe answered some of that. And those have to do with both projects. But one of the questions was about, for the Ryan and Sealy, we did receive a grant for $250,000 or, you know, up to $250,000, but half of the project. So the bid came in lower, so he did give us an amount. What did he say it would end up costing? $237. OPWC would pay $237 to $220, and then we would pay the same amount, the other half of that.
Mayor,
Yes.
which by my public school math is a savings to the village over the estimated cost, the original estimated cost. It's a savings of $200,780, so that's very, very significant.
Yeah, the original cost was going to be close to
438. Yeah,
700,000.
and with the
Less
net
the
cost
grant.
to us.
668, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, with the net cost to
Yeah.
us of 438, now it's only costing us 237, 220, as the mayor said, so that's $200,780. That's very significant. I'm
And Mr.
happy to
Mayor,
see
Yes.
that.
if I may, they also are projecting to have it done quicker than any of the other businesses, with only 30 days compared to 90 days or the end of September that some of the other bids had put out there for it. So minimal disruption for the residents up there too.
We just needed to stop raining.
It's not snow.
Tomorrow, coming again.
It's not
Nikki,
snow.
did you want to add anything to that, or did you want to talk more about the other project? Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I did want to add that in our budget, we had, we were planning to pay for that out of the motor vehicle license tax fund, but the budget amount was only $150, so I'll have to appropriate. There will be no transfers of money. There's money in the motor vehicle. I'll just have to appropriate another $24,000.
But that's where you're talking for the road project, though?
Mhm.
Okay, all right.
No, I'm sorry, that was not for
Yeah,
the rent.
that's okay. We're gonna get to that.
Okay.
I know you wanna, we all wanna get out of here a little quicker.
I'm moving it along.
I would appreciate that.
Any questions on, you know, the Ryan, on resolution 2026-23, the Ryan Drive and Sealy Circle resurfacing project? Okay. Well, next week we'll have it on for suspension. That way they can get moving on that.
Mayor Colgrove?
Yes.
Just a comment, not a question, just regarding the village's continuing effort to improve our residential roads like Ryan and Sealy. And although, you know, sometimes when we put budgets together, you may not know exactly, you know, it may look daunting to have some of these large projects. And then days like today where we're talking about a very good cost savings, but the commitment to these projects are so important to our residents. As we've already said before, you know, our residential roads are not just for cars, it's for walking, it's for pushing strollers, you know, and things like that, dog walking. And I'm just thankful that we're able to stay on track with our residential road program.
Well said. Thank you. You know, and that's, I know we get, all of us here on the dais get, you know, questioned a lot about that, about our residential roads. Because not everybody sees the roads that we do each year. You know, you see Alexander, you see Dunham Road, you see Sagamore, but some of the neighborhoods, like what we did last year or the year before, you know, unless you are going to a specific house or delivering something, you wouldn't know it was done in the village, so you drive around and you think, boy, they're not doing any of our roads, but every year we try to do, you know, we take our road project, that nice template that Joe puts together that has a grading, you know, a scale on it from poor to, you know, rates the roads, and we try to do the worst ones each year to keep moving up. So I just wanna make that clear, because sometimes, you know, things are happening, you know, just like this development. You might drive by, but, you know, unless you drive in it, you won't know that it's being repaved this year. You know, and that's a big development, and a big project, so. So we'll keep trying to improve our roads. Any questions on, item A? Okay, we'll move down to item B, ordinance 2026-6, the cybersecurity program. I know we're trying to, did you make any headway with that, Nikki, or we're trying to, talk to TCC or T?
I am in contact with them. He did email me back about maybe adding some things to the actual resolution. But I don't have a final answer on what we would need to do to actually move it forward. If there's anything on their end they have to take care of, so I'm kind of working back and
Still
forth with
working on
them.
it, which we knew that. We have that for second reading. We did first reading last month, second reading, and then we're gonna try to wrap it up in June there. Okay, so we'll have that on the agenda also for second reading. Any questions or anything on that? Okay. Now we have item C, resolution 2026-24, that's the asphalt maintenance program, protect the coat. And we do have Joe's letter here, his memo. This one I did not read in the record, so I will right now. Dear Mayor Colograph, the village has received 2 bid proposals for the project known as the Pavement Maintenance Program. Bid tabulations attached. I have reviewed the bid proposals. I've identified the lowest and best bid proposal as that being submitted by Protect-A-Coat Incorporated in an amount of $174,145.82. References have been checked successfully. As such, I recommend to award the contract for the 2026 asphalt maintenance program project to Protect-A-Coat Incorporated. Seeing we had questions, because that was another name I didn't recognize, I did ask Joe about that, and he said, yes, they haven't been here, but they've used them in other communities, and he has too. So he was very comfortable with us going with Protect-A-Coat Incorporated. Nikki, did you want to talk about that a little bit? Because I know there was some discussions with that, with what we had, and I know we just talked about it, but if you want to just elaborate. And John did make a point that he did look, him and Nikki looked at that fund, and they can't use that money for this project.
Correct. So John and I were double checking to make sure that we could use the motor vehicle license tax fund for the streets, and that it is in fact what it is used for maintaining the roads and the streets. So I think our last financials, there was like 184,000 in there. So we'll be paying for it out of there. I had a budget of using 150, so I will have to increase it 24,000 to cover the full cost of that road program. And so next week you'll see just an additional appropriation out of that fund. There will be no transferring of monies or anything like that.
Any questions on that? I would also ask for suspension on that if everybody's comfortable with that. Any questions related to item C? And if something comes up or whatever, we can always reach out to Joe or reach out to myself or Nikki, and